Matt, thanks for your time on a Saturday. Jake from 6PR and Channel 9 News here. Back against the wall, up against Brizzy tomorrow. How's the side feeling against what could be a pretty tough match?
We've had a pretty good week on the track. It was really disappointing last week, and we've got a few things to prove. And we just want to come out and play some consistent football. I thought like last week, our first half was really good, and we want to sort of get back to that. And this week it'll be solely sort of basics and roll.
Lukey Ryan said during the week he didn't think getting into a shootout with West Coast was a good idea. Is it getting back to the defensive basics against Brizzy, who look like they can score pretty heavily on their home deck?
Yeah, definitely. I think last week in the first half and second half, it turned into a bit of a shootout, as you said. And looking back on that, there was some simple sort of basics that can sort of fix those goals. So I think Brisbane are in really good form, informed team in the comp, and playing on their home ground. So it'll be a tough challenge, but one we're up to.
Speaking of Lukey Ryan, did he get through training yesterday? Do you expect him to play tomorrow? How's his calf going?
No, Lukey Ryan's still a little bit off. He was sort of running laps on the side, but he's come to the Gold Coast just to get around the other defenders and help out, I guess.
He said he was a 50-50 during the week, so that was a bit optimistic then?
Yeah, I think so.
And how's your back going, mate? Is that all better, or is it just something you've got to manage for the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's come a long way since the start of the season. Had focused on some treatment, and it's getting better each week. There's always sort of niggles and stuff you pick up during the year, but for the most part, my body's feeling better each week, and I think I'm running out games a lot better.
Your form as well has been fantastic throughout the season, in a forward line that's sort of chopped and changed a little bit through injury and players coming in and out. What do you put that down to, and how do you expect the forward line to work tomorrow against Brizzy?
Yeah, as you said, we've had plenty of guys go through there during the season. I think we've had a forward line that's been the same sort of 6 or 7 forwards each week, but I think that's the beauty of our team is we've got a lot of guys that play like a very similar role and can come in and we can trust them to do their job. Tomorrow it'll be sort of no different. I think we've got some experience up there with myself, Lobby and Michael Walters, and young guys like Liam Henry. We just need to lead the way, and I think if we can sort of do our job as a tall forwards, myself and Rory, and bring these small guys into the game, will look really dangerous.
Just with your defensive personnel, how will that look tomorrow with Chapman out with that shoulder and a few other guys as well? You're confident that back six will be able to stand up tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. I think if you look at our squad early in the preseason, you'd probably say our defence has got the most depth in terms of size and flexibility. So no doubt it hurts having Chappie out and Ethan Hughes, who's been a great player for us this season. But I'm really confident the guys coming in. Taylor Demand, he's hungry, can play a really good job. Toby Watson was really good last week, I thought. So yeah, we'll back those guys in.
Beauty. Thanks, Tabs. I'll hand it over. Cheers, mate.
No worries.
Matthew, just one on here. Josh Tracy didn't make the trip over, so he's obviously out for this game and the next. Have you had a chance to have a chat to him at all? Do you offer some advice? Obviously, you've been there before as a young key forward trying to hold a spot.
Yeah, I spoke to him briefly, and just sort of reinforced everything he's doing is the right thing. He's playing consistent football in the waffle when he had to go back there, so I think it was just not so much his ability, it's more they want to get some football into him and consistent minutes so he can develop his game. But he'll play a really important role for the rest of the season, I'm sure, and he goes back with the right attitude, so he was in a good mood.
And just on the sort of temporary hub-like situation. Do you think there's a chance you return before the Essendon game now that the situation in WA is looking a lot better?
I think, as it stands, I think we'll stay over here. The club had to sort of make a decision with the circumstances at the time, and were probably liaised with the AFL, and this was sort of the best solution with the circumstances. I wouldn't have thought so. I think the players are all fine and happy to do it. It cuts down, the amount of time we spend in the planes. So, yeah, we're all for it.
And just on Brisbane, you've got a pretty good record at the Gabby. You've kicked a few goals there in your last few games, and obviously your form this year has been good. Is there an opponent you normally get from Brisbane? Are you expecting someone in particular?
Yeah, so I think we played them round 2 last year, and they got some really capable tools, as in Harris Andrews, who's been obviously one of the best defenders in the game for the last couple of seasons. So whether it be him or Marcus Adams, expect maybe Gardner to come in from concussion. So I don't know if they're as locked down of defence as some teams, so they might be happy to hand over. But yeah, expect maybe probably Harris Andrews or Marcus Adams.
Thanks, mate.
No worries.
Hi, Matt. Hamish from the Inner Sanctum here. I guess going off that point, we saw last week that Brisbane were able to keep a side like Port Adelaide to just 5 goals. I guess how much of a challenge does that kind of present to both you personally and the forward group, just to try and combat what's a really poised and well-trained backline that they have?
Yeah, I think with Brisbane, it's they restrict opponents' goals, not just from their 6 key defenders. It's a whole sort of 18 guys on the field, so it's a team defence. So I've got no doubt if we can get some supply, our 6 forwards are capable of scoring, or we've got a lot of midfielders who can kick goals as well. So even last week, I thought in the first half, when you gave the 6 or 7 forwards supply, we were able to kick a score. So yeah, it's not just, it'll be a whole team sort of challenge to get the ball in the forward 50 and lock it in there.
And I guess on that midfield battle you touched on, how do you kind of see it playing out? There was obviously without Lockie Neal at the moment, but they've shown they still have a lot of dangerous weapons there, while for you guys like David Mundy and Adam Brayshaw have been just stepping up all season as well.
Yeah, no doubt. As you touched on with Brisbane, they're not really dependent on just Lockie, so they've got some really quality players in there. Zorko's been a really good player for a long time, so they've got some weapons, but our midfield, we've got a good blend of experience with Fifey and Dave Mundy, as well as those young guys, as you said. Andy Brayshaw has been really good all season and has drawn plenty of attention, and then Caleb Sarong as well is come along a long way and improving each game he plays. So yeah, it'll be a really good battle, and it'll be sort of a crucial one to see how the game turns out.
Matt, just one from me again quickly. How important is it to get a win here, considering how tough your upcoming run is? You've got Port, Sydney, got a couple of big sides. How important is it to try and sneak a win over there?
Yeah, it'd be great. As you said, away wins are crucial if you want to play finals football. And it's something we've really focused on. It was good to get a result last time we were on the road against Adelaide, and if we can get one over here, it'd be particularly on Sunday against Brisbane, it'd really set our season up. So we'll be hungry to get a result, but it'll be really process driven. That's all we're sort of focused on as players, is the focus, and hopefully the result will fall our way.
Matt, do you expect any other changes apart from the couple of injured guys? Is anyone else expected to come out for tomorrow or come in as well?
No, I think for the most part, everyone sort of trained pretty well on Friday. So not from my knowledge.